back on the table against that back wall. So feel free if you're interested in getting in touch with me. My personal information is on those flyers. So as Vivian said, I'm a certified and a registered yoga therapist. I have devoted my whole life to the practice of yoga as my own personal form, lifestyle, health and healing and wellness. I've done yoga all my adult life for my own form of exercise and fitness. And I changed my whole profession, and I've taught yoga in various forms, kind of an eclectic form for about 25 years. And now I'm specializing as a yoga therapist, and I have a certification from Loyola Marymount University. I'm working on a third certification where the school that I'm going to is partnering with the Vanderbilt Center for Integrative Health, which is actually now the Osher Center for Integrative Health. The Osher Center in Nashville at Vanderbilt University is focusing on a number of control group studies on therapeutic yoga for all kinds of conditions, and MS is one of them, and neurological conditions. So the important thing to understand is that there are many schools of yoga, and while it's wonderful that people around you tell you you should go and take a yoga class or you should try yoga for whatever your condition is, it's important to know that yoga can hurt you as much as it can help you. So you want to be very careful that you are getting in touch with someone who knows what they're doing. I think that if you took a very gentle yoga class or a class that's all in the chair, you probably cannot go wrong. However, the lineage that I teach and that I study and practice comes from a very specific school in India. Yoga is very ancient. It's thousands of years old. It is not a religion. It's not Hinduism. It's not spirituality. It is, however, more than physical. And it's more than physical because we are a system that's more than just the physical body. So we have a particular perspective on the idea of holistic healing and holistic medicine. So if you could sit quietly for a moment and, if possible, ground your feet on the floor and pull your chest up in positive posture. Good posture starts with the heart coming away from the navel, and then shoulders relaxed and chin in a neutral posture. Then breathe in, if possible, through your nose, and breathe out, also through the nose, although if that's a challenge, not to worry. So take a moment and feel your body, your physical body, and just be aware of how you're sitting. Use your sense of touch to just be in touch with the body itself. So the body is the superficial layer of the human system. And we can always stop and tune in and check in with the body. And then feel the breath. Just experience your breathing. How does it feel coming in and going out? Can you start to lengthen your inhalation? And maybe even pause briefly. And then lengthen your exhalation. Beginning to put space between the breaths so as not to rush from one breath to another. The breath is another layer of our human system and another way for us to experience being alive and being human. So now think about your mind. Maybe it's calmer. Maybe it's not so crowded as it was. And maybe you're thinking only of the breath coming in and the breath going out. The mind is like a lake. It gets very stirred up and choppy. It can get cloudy. But when we draw our attention to it, it can calm down. And just as a lake that's stormy and cloudy retains its liquid properties, the mind always retains its luminous properties. Even though we might be agitated, the mind always has this quality of luminosity. So the mind is another layer of the human system. And now think about your personality, your amazing self, the part of you that nobody else shares, that's only you, your behavior, the part of you that you've always known was there from the time you were a small child. And no matter how troubled, and no matter how happy, you had a strong sense of who you were, that you were unique. That behavior, that personality, is also a layer of your system, always operating and a way for you to contact yourself. Now think about your emotional self. How do you feel right now emotionally? How did you feel this morning? Emotionally, what was your week like? Assessing how you feel emotionally, using the breath to look in like a window through the breath, is another part of our system. So when we practice yoga, even though it's a very simple practice, we're affecting all levels of the human system. When you eat healthy food, you're not just feeding your body. You're affecting your emotions, your mind, your breath, and your behavior. When you take your medicine, the same thing happens. You're affected on all levels. So we always use the breath to thread these levels together.